G'day, Auntie Mahara here. Going to be responding to another comment, one that just came through actually because I was sitting here doing some other videos and things, and so I thought, well, and the person ends their comment by going, what can I do, AJ, with a lot of question marks. So I thought, hey, I'll just jump on and do this video. So the comment was left on my video, borderline personality, dating, or relationships, Hoover Hope, X is a BPD. And the commenter says, AJ, with my ex with BPD is contacting me about once a week. She left me about a month ago. I have blocked her, but tonight she contacted my mom. And I just got an email from her today. So I don't know if you mean an email from the ex or an email from your mother about the contact to your mother or not. And then you said, maybe you got an email from your ex, so it's hard. I can't parse the difference there, sorry. And you said, the commenter said, and in the email was a picture of the ex, you said her, but your ex, writing on paper the good and the bad of me, meaning the commenter, the pros and cons of me, the commenter again says, I have not contacted her since she moved out, but it's still happening. What can I do, AJ? And several question marks. Well, this is an interesting situation because this isn't a one-off occurrence that somebody would contact somebody's mother, but it's not spoken about a lot, I don't think, and it doesn't happen as often as they try to contact you directly. But if you really get them well blocked, then they might well contact your family, your mother, a sibling, a friend. So I think one of the things that would really help out the commenter and anybody that can resonate with this, or in case this does happen to you, if you're in a, if you just are in a situation where you've just been ghosted, or there's just, a breakup just happened, or you believe it's coming, or you need to break up with the person. So if she's been contacting you about once a week, so first of all, I would ask the commenter, or for others to think about, if you're full no contact and she's totally blocked, it might be by email, but how has she been contacting you once a week? Because that means there's still at least one avenue, and it sounds like more than one here, that you need to close to be full no contact so that you don't keep getting these contacts, but these Hoovers, because they're not in your best interest, and obviously you're feeling a lot by the way you wrote the comment. And so, pardon me, I don't know what happens. I've just done a few videos, so maybe that's why my throat's at it already. And so she left you a month ago, and you said you blocked her, but she contacted your mother. So I'm still not clear if she's able to email you, but she contacted your mother. So here's the thing about that. So if she can still email you, you need to do something about blocking her or creating another email and leaving that box alone for a while. But you should be able to set it to go to your spam folder, etc., and leave it alone. I always recommend people set up another email and use that and sort of leave the other one so you can get space away from it, right? So the other thing clearly here is that she contacted your mother. You're in no contact, or seemingly almost full no contact, but not quite, it sounds like, with the email. I'm not sure. Well, unwanted contact to you, anybody who's the ex of somebody with BPD, or anybody for that matter, unwanted contact becomes a legal issue when it doesn't stop. And then when a person contacts somebody that you know, or in this case your mother, who you family member, then this is something that it's in the best interest of people to actually report to the police. Because this is where it starts, and I'm not saying this person would be doing it with malice, but you never know, some do, some don't. But it's unwanted contact, and how are you going to get on with your healing and recovery and get some space in your head, which is hard enough to fight for when people come out of these relationships and breakups? How are you going to be able to start even one step at a time, 1 minute at a time going forward with all this contact. So firstly, you need to make sure that you are firm in, and you set your boundary. This is unwanted contact. And if she's emailed you too, you need to shore up that ability of her to contact you that way. And then because she's contacted your mother, I would recommend, and I would say, and it's never too early, to start documenting that and call the police and report that. It's unwanted contact. You don't want your ex bothering your mother, right? And then I don't know if you heard from your mother or you heard from your ex, and then I'm sure you heard from your mother too. So talking to family members, how hopefully they can understand. You got to explain no contact to them. You got to explain what you need, and you have to ask for their support, and hopefully you get that support. So they have to block this person too, would be the best thing. And they need to honor what you require, right? Because I'm sure they love and care about you. And then if it's agreed upon that it's unwanted contact for your family, for your place of work, or for yourself, or for any of your friends, then that's when it's time to call the police. Because even if it's somebody trying to show you, and that they're trying to do something that they want you to consider trying again about, it's still unwanted contact. And when it moves from unwanted contact to the person who's the ex, to a family member, a friend, or whatever, it becomes stalking behavior. Whether it, which can have all kinds of iterations and low degree of serious threat, but it's a threat to your moving forward. It threatens you not, being able to hold your boundary right now, which is new or not, getting hoovered back in or not. So it's unwanted contact. You need to document it. You need to talk to your family. You need to talk to, if she lives, like, not everybody's in the same place, but if she's right in your area, don't let her come to your house once without phoning the police, because they'll sometimes come by the house. They'll sometimes leave letters in mailboxes, trying to get your attention, because sometimes it's on the scary side of things, and sometimes it's just, hey, I'm realizing stuff, and it's that general Hoover approach of, she's writing out the pros and the cons of you, but like, those pros and cons and that evaluation and the splitting, it's inside of her. It's not about you. So number one, whether she's making an honest effort there or not doesn't sound like it's really getting very far. And secondly, she was writing about the quote, good you and bad you. Well, you've already been through what you've been through, and now you need to heal. So I hope you're going to hold the no contact, because this is the Hoover. They don't usually come in this way, right? But to your mother and or you by email, I'm not sure. When the Hoover comes, so does their best intentions. Like, they might really mean it. They might, sometimes, because all people at BP aren't the same, they might really have more of an awareness intellectually, which means nothing for their emotional landscape. It means nothing has changed for them in terms of, like, they need therapy, they need to find the lost self, etc., what I'm always talking about in my videos, to explain this to people. But the thing is, so she might have an awareness, and she's acting on it right now, and the motivation for acting on it is that she's probably alone and lonely and feeling abandoned and needy, and she wants a do-over. And so all the things they talk about, and or that either outright promise, or in this case, you might be like, oh man, she's writing this out. She's doing something, like, now I feel terrible, or I should give her another chance. No, no, and no. Because this is but fleeting awareness. And if she's gaining some, that's great. But then she needs to take it to therapy. And then she still has that longer process ahead of her, right? Years to really understand what she's right now having maybe a little bit of awareness about. But isn't it interesting? Doesn't mean they don't have some awareness, but it can be fleeting, largely incongruent, and very unstable. It can come and go, come and go. And what happens more often than not is if a person whichever way and circuitous route you get hoovered, like this commenter, if you let that, if you accept the hoover, and if you start talking to them again and get back in contact, and the next thing you know, you'll be, quote, back together, and then the next thing you know, you won't be together anymore. If you go there, there's nothing about what she's doing right now in that awareness that's going to hold up or be mean that she's actually capable right now of changing. She's starting to look at something. That's just merely but like this much of a step toward the process she needs in her own therapy and healing and recovery journey. So what you should do to the answer, what should I do, AJ, with all your question marks, commenter, is, and I hear you, I think you're pretty upset about this, understandably, and conflicted. You need to stay no contact. You need to take care of yourself. You need to know that what she's presenting to you right now, though she might have good intentions, and she might be realizing something, is not going to be change like that. It's not going to mean she can change her behavior. It's not going to mean she can stop, the splitting and the idealization of the good you and the devaluation of the bad you. Just because she's writing about that right now, good for her, and let's hope that she can go ahead and get into therapy and she can get on a healing and recovery journey that's going to take her 8+ years. But the thing is, you need, if she contacted you by email, your ex, then you need to try, block the email address, leave that email alone, start another one, tell all your friends and family, and just don't go to that email box for a while. Maybe subsequently down the road you can use it again, but you gotta go absolutely full no contact and stay that way. And if she in fact didn't email you, but she obviously hoovered your mother in hoovering you, then you need to talk to your mother about that, because I don't know if you heard this from your ex directly in email and or your mother, or from your mother who got contacted and hoovered. You were hoovered by, through a third party. So you need to have your family, you need to have a sit down talk with your family about where you're at, and maybe they won't understand it to the nines, but what you most need is for them to probably block if she's going to contact them as well, and for them to not tell you if they are contacted by her. And you need to make sure you batten down all your hatches. And then you need to make sure, don't know, people in all kinds of different circumstances, but if you have a workplace and she knows the phone number, she knows where you work, if she shows up, it's when it's time to call the police, because you have a boundary that you need to protect to be able to take care of yourself. And so what people don't realize often and it sounds like you've had your share of emotion, I'm just inferring from what I read, I can't know, that maybe this has really moved you. Maybe you're thinking like, wow, this is like she's getting something, but it's not that. She might be having some awareness, but it's not actionable. It's not going to change her relational patterns. It's not going to change everything about what already happened, why the relationship, quote, ended. And she left, I think you said. So I don't know if you were ghosted or not. But people are really vulnerable because you wanted the relationship to work out, and now you're probably in a world of hurt, and now you're probably thinking, but what if this awareness of hers? No, it won't be enough to change anything. And if you get back in contact with her, or if you, which is the slippery slope of a Hoover, to get back with you is what she's trying to do, and start over, it's going to go around the same cycle again. So what you really need to do for you is what I've said already, which is stay no contact, block the email if she contacted you directly from email, talk to your family, friends, maybe boss at work, anybody that might be contacted by her. And yeah, it should be reported to the police, because when you're no contact from somebody, even though she doesn't sound dangerous or, whatever, because they're not all the same, but she isn't respecting a boundary, and that's not okay. And maybe she needs to learn in a little bit of a harsher way. And the police at first will just warn, she has opportunities, but you need to call the police and document this, because when she contacted your mother, that's not the same as contacting you. That puts it into a whole other light that has importance. and means it might well continue. And then, I don't know if you have siblings or whatever, but then maybe she's going to contact your brother. Maybe she's going to contact some of your friends that she might have met and got to know when she was with you. So you need to document. You need to go full no contact if in fact she emailed you. You need to talk to your family, and you need to shore up the no contact. And you need to call the police and report this now, because if it's going to continue, even though she's not posing a threat right now, she is in a place of not respecting boundaries in a way that matters. And it's only going to hurt you more, and it's going to confuse you, and it's going to put you in that slippery slope of going back around again instead of taking care of yourself. So I hope that helps. It might sound like it's severe, but it's not. And especially when they make contact through somebody else, a family member or a friend or a work colleague, that is totally unacceptable. And people kind of know that in general, right? But not everybody with BPD does. And she might be feeling really desperate right now, but that's her responsibility. And your responsibility, commenter, and anybody that resonates with this, or if you're new and just broke up with somebody and you're not sure what's going on, you need to document it. You need to talk to your family and friends. You need to explain not the whole thing, but just that you're no contact from this person. And if they get contacted, you only want to know because you're going to then have to call the police, because that is crossing the line from hoovering to stalking. And they don't all do it with horrible intent, but it's still such a violation and a boundary cross. And essentially what she did in contacting your mother is illegal. So start there, hold your ground, and please hear me when I say, no matter what they present in a Hoover, no matter whether it's, I don't think in this case it doesn't sound like abject lies, but it's often lies. It's often false promises. But even when they have something to say about, well, I understand this now, and I'm looking at this, that's but their beginning. That is what they need to take to therapy. You don't need to re-engage. You need to take care of yourself, and I hope you will, and anyone that resonates with this. So what you need to do is what I've already said, and for yourself, and you need to make sure you stay no contact, and you need to button down all the other avenues that she's going to try, and with your mother, she's already gotten through. Can't have that happening and be full no contact. And so some people with BPD do this in a really, in a way that the police will seriously be involved. At this point for you, it sounds like she's just trying to get you back, but you need to hold your boundary. And then her contacting your mother ups the ante to where the police should be contacted, because it's unwanted contact. And it's likely not going to stop with this one contact to your mother. So you need to take care of yourself, and you need to have your mom and other people in your family or friends that she could contact. You need to have them on board with your no contact. Or if somebody is a mutual friend, then you have to tell them, if you're talking to my ex, I don't want to talk about that. So boundaries all the way around. And please know that when they contact someone like a family member or a friend, it's out of control even when it's not a threat. So I hope people can hear that. I hope people take that seriously. I hope especially the commenter does. Stay your course, because you're on that course for a reason. And it's really hard and painful right now, and you might really want to open the door to her again and try again. But I promise you, it's not going to yield anything different. You know, you said it's been a month. Well, people with BPD need years of therapy to change these things. And she upped the ante, and it's very inappropriate that she contacted your mother whatsoever. So I hope you'll take care of you, and I hope this was helpful.